as they've in need.
What did I do? What did I do? Hey, I'm busy. I'm tired all the time. How's it going? Corey, Carly, Vandred. Make sure you drop likes. Good thing there's nothing in the news happening. That would be crazy, bro. That would be insane if there were things happening, but nothing does happen. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so Jolah hates as much as Trump does. No natural disasters. That is true. That would suck if there were. I don't even want to... Talking about the floods in Texas is really frustrating. So you know that when things like this happen, it's a nuisance for conservatives to prepare for anything. So the locals there, they never take warning seriously. They never build equipment or alert systems. They don't think that stuff is needed. They laugh whenever there's a warning from the government, like, oh, the government never predicts the weather, right? And Trump supporters in general, they keep on saying, don't politicize tragedies. We know they politicize literally every tragedy they can in the most disgusting ways possible. But when they are affected, then, you know, you have to pause and give them 100% maximum sympathy, empathy, all the words, all the pathies, all right? You have to give them all the love in the world instantly, without even asking for a second. Like, hey, do you not understand your hypocrisy?
This is crazy. I know we're not Kirk County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need.
Heartbreaking request from a woman in distress.
What you gonna do, crybaby?
With Alligator.
I wear alligator, Alcatraz.
By the way, Alligator Alcatraz, reports came out that people are being fed MAGA-infested food. They're being fed terrible food. They're in terrible hot conditions, very, very sweaty, warm, humid, 95-degree weather, 90-degree weather. In the Everglades, these are green card holders. These are people who were seeking the legal route to become citizens, and now the Trump admin wants to terrorize them for fun, for sport, to hit ICE quotas. They want to hit quotas, and they are brutalizing immigrants to get there.
These two clips perfectly
And they're laughing about it.
this wily coyote wall we keep running full steam face first into. How the fuck do we force these people to find human empathy before things happen to them specifically? These are the same people that will callously invoke God's wrath for smiting the wicked in California with wildfires, who will then turn around and clutch their pearls, aghast that you point out the hypocrisy in that fucking thought process when it comes to them.
Yeah, and I saw conservatives blaming this heavy downpour and flash flooding, blaming weather machines. And we had literal U.S. Congress people blaming weather machines. I don't know if I shared it on Twitter. I'll look for it for a second. But that one really dumb congressman said cloud seeding is the problem here. Now, the real issue is, and I hate talking about it because conservatives hate anything that involves critical thought. It's kind of sad, but you gotta get mad. You cannot baby them. We cannot baby them because people die if we baby them. They need to understand their actions have consequences. So climate change, global warming. If you have hotter air, okay, hotter air can carry more liquid in the atmosphere, and therefore, if it carries more liquid for a longer amount of time, when the water finally comes down, it's going to come down in a very concentrated area very quickly, and that creates more extreme flash flooding all across. I mean, even where I am right now in Pennsylvania, I'm noticing extremely bad flash flooding, worse than I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys have similar stories at all, but I've never seen this much flash flooding in a short amount of time. We set records multiple days for highest amount of rainfall, and it's all in very concentrated areas. You could drive a half hour either direction, any direction, and you'll be out of the storm. You'll be away from the storm. Here's that one.
Look at us with confusion as we can't muster up sympathy for them as they've mocked others in need.
So if anybody has a good idea how to force people to care about other people, I'm all ears.
You cannot force them to care about other people. You got to wake up more people. You have to wake up more good people to be involved politically, which is why I'm happy about Zoran Mamdani for that exact reason. I don't give a shit about the ideology. I care that he's getting good people involved in politics. The good people who care about their neighbors need to outweigh and overpower the people that hate everyone and themselves. They're angry, petulant people. This person right here, Representative Tim Timber is going down. I'm yelling timber. So this guy, he said the other day, President Trump told me there's no wind turbines in China. There's no wind. We got to use coal in America. By the way, China is racing ahead of America. They are destroying us. They have the most wind production of any country in human history, not American history, in human history. They're leading new generation energy, and it's going to be a national security issue because if you can have renewable energy, you don't need to be tied up in getting oil from other countries, obviously. If you want energy independence, any energy independence in the future, it needs to include wind, solar, and nuclear, okay? This guy said there's no windmills. Trump told me there are tons of windmills in China, but also he says here, the floods are a result of cloud seeding and weather manipulation, dude. Yeah, okay, so weather manipulation. Why did they wanted to cause this flood? Why? Who did this? Is it the same person who's hiding the Epstein files?
We'll have a tough hearing, and we'll hear what's going on. People are saying we're conspiracy theorists, but you don't patent a conspiracy. And these things have been patented, they've been proven they do it. There's Sean Ryan has a podcast out, just oddly enough, this past couple of weeks. So fellas talking about how they've proven that it works, because they will. If you just see the cloud, you just don't really know. You can't prove it. But if you zigzag or create a shape or write your name.
It's such a big issue. Like Sean Ryan, his guests are insane. It's a podcast. And we have people leading the country getting their entire brain from podcasting. They are going crazy. They are clinically insane. Not in any offensive way. I'm not using that as an insult. They need help. They need mental help. These are people that were against Trump's big beautiful bill because it's going to destroy America. But they changed their mind after they went to Trump's office and got signed hats and other memorabilia, bro, and other signed merch from Trump. And he's quoting the Sean Ryan show. Like, bro, you have security. You are a United States representative, but he's from Tennessee, so it makes sense. It is a representative government, if you know what I mean. You do represent who elects you. But yeah, you have these top security clearances. You don't need to watch random ass podcasts on YouTube for your information. So I have to assume he's lying on purpose.
Say Voice of America across of it, and the rain comes down out of that. Then you can prove it's happened, and they've proven it works in some cases. So it's a real thing. Weather manipulation is a is real, but in the hands of our enemies or some overlord, I think it could be a very detrimental thing. And I'm big on God and just letting Him work His magic, not people trying to.
Wait, what did he say?
For some overlord, I think it could be a very desolation is real, but in the hands of our enemies or some overlord, I think it could be a very detrimental thing. And I'm
in the hand of our enemies or some overlord. The modern MAGA movement it's simply schizophrenia, bro. It's literally schizophrenia. That'd be a good remix. Schizophrenia. I don't know why I got a musical mind today. But like, man, dude, it's a man, dude. Oh my goodness.
Your memo and release yesterday in Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the native staff?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Bro, we're still talking about this guy who led a huge child trafficking operation. His tone here has the exact energy as, just listen to him for 1 second.
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Bro, are you really like having ice cream? Like when there's a genocide, like there's bad things happening right now. Are you really? Or like dude.
Someone drove a hot dog-shaped car through the window.
Driver's gone. Somebody call the cops. We need to find that driver.
They could have killed someone.
Whose car is this?
Yeah, come on. Whoever did this, just get fast. We promise we won't be mad.
Bro, it's just it's so crazy. Who did this? We gotta find the guy who did this, bro.
Epstein?
We're gonna get Jeffrey Epstein's best friend to reveal Jeffrey Epstein and his evil doings.
This guy's been talked about
Donald
for
Trump.
years. You're asking,
Old news.
We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Man, this creep. This guy, Donald Trump, is so level-headed. He does this all the time. He always turns away from the big media story to turn us back to the real issues facing Americans. This is just normal for Trump, bro. By the way, Donald Trump golfing the entire day when these poor girls were dying in this flood. And he has Kristi Noem, who I don't know why she's the spokesperson for FEMA or the National Weather Service, but Kristi Noem is giving a public statement on behalf of Trump. He never goes public at all. He only ran to the hurricane in North Carolina for political reasons to win the election. But you have Kristi Noem go out there and say, guys, I promise, Daddy Trump is busy right now, but Daddy Trump loves you guys so much, and Daddy Trump sends his prayers. Why was Trump MIA for like a day and a half when this huge tragedy is happening? One of the biggest like death toll natural disasters in the past like I don't even know how many years. Like, where the hell has Trump been? I know he's not running for president anymore, so he doesn't give a shit about pretending to care. But like, it's crazy. The political the ability for Republicans to be complete dog shit and to get away with it is actually kind of awesome.
That is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. He sounds so fake here, bro. He sounds so fake.
A minute missing from the jailhouse tape.
There's so many bad things happening.
Yeah,
You're talking
sure.
about this
Could I
creep. This creep. Ugh, no one even knows who this guy is.
About Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Bro, he sounds so full of shit, dude.
Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Bro, we've been talking about this guy for years. I mean, it's officially too long, guys. It's officially too long. We gotta stop talking about him right now. We've been talking about him for years. Old news, bro. Old news.
We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Please drop a like. Subscribe. You can call into the show. I have a phone number up there. All right, I see people talking. You should call into the show. We could have a conversation about America.
That is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration. But you.
Yes, dude. That's what Trump said during the California fires when he said that lesbian firefighters and DEI, when he like literally the morning after the plane crash, where he's like, well, the blacks were flying the planes and they can't drive, obviously, so therefore the plane crash is the DEI, bro. Like Trump using Lake and Riley to justify tearing apart the Constitution. Like it's just so crazy. Like hypocrites. Lying is such a good superpower. But there are some disagreements here. I know think, Patrick Bet-David.
Good to be back on with you, buddy. But this is what I will tell you. The #1 trending hashtag right now on X is Epstein.
Bro, and also Grok today calling himself a Mecca Hitler, and going after Jewish last names on Twitter has been crazy. Have you guys seen Grok on Twitter? Like I think X shut down Grok now, but literally just like. It's been a crazy day on Twitter, bro. It's been a crazy day on Twitter. I don't think anyone needs to ask the question, did Elon do a Nazi salute? I think we know now. But yeah, they told their entire MAGA propaganda apparatus that this Epstein stuff is 100% going to be coming out, like 100%. I know Trump hesitated because he's in the files, and him and Epstein had a great time on the island. But like, it's hard for them. It's hard for Patrick Bet-David. It's hard for him to go out there and not attack Trump. And I'm happy he's being consistent.
2 million people have tweeted with the topic of Epstein. #2 is Nicki Minaj at 100,000. Comey's at 42,500. There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant.
True, he's scared. Whenever Epstein's brought up for whatever reason, I don't know why, Trump gets scared. Someone in chat said, you are spitting the story. Spin, spin, spin. Wait, spin, spin, spin. Bro, you're taking this whole ride-in Trump thing to a whole new meaning, bro.
Why?
Chill.
So why does his leadership team go out there?
You're spitting on Trump.
You're spitting on release this and cash. And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this? All you have to do is send a message to everybody. Say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump.
And what they decided on, was, who even cares about talking about this anymore, bro? Who even cares? It's old news, bro. It's old news. I mean, who cares about this Epstein guy? I don't even know. Like, that's what they decided on, bro. That's what they decided on.
But I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown. I totally get the big victories. Tariff, $300 billion valuation this year of how much money is going to come from tariffs.
Tariffs? You mean $300 billion in tax revenue that we pay, that Americans pay? Yay, Trump raised taxes by $300 billion, mostly on working class Americans. Great.
Last year, the government only got $80 billion or so. That's like a company increasing their valuation by 4x. Massive.
What did he just say?
Money's going to come from tariffs. Last year, the government had Epstein, and it's a big letdown. I totally get the big victories. Tariff, $300 billion valuation this year of how much money is going to come from tariffs. Last year, the government only got $80 billion or so. That's like a company.
$300 billion valuation, as if it's a company we're investing in. The valuation's going up. It's called raising revenue because you raised taxes on imports. Like, what the hell did he just say? This is a business podcaster, bro? This is a business podcaster saying this shit? Bro, what the?
Their valuation by 4x.
No, they what, dude? Bro, I mean, we could just raise taxes to 100%. Our business is going to be booming, apparently.
The stuff that's going on with different areas we're winning. What happened with Iran, the back and forth, the conversations. I think
so we're losing with them, like with the Epstein situation. The winning part is raising taxes on Americans. All right, the winning part is bombing Iran and failing, by the way, and bombing Iran.
This was the biggest fumble when it came down to Epstein, and the more they answer like that, the more attention you're going to draw to. People are going to ask, why are they so nervous about this? What do you know that the rest of us don't know? If it's just the fact that you want to hold people blackmail, is that the relation between everything? Everyone's read the stories. It's not like we don't know what it is. It's not like the only thing people watch nowadays is Fox. People watch Twitter. People go X. People go CNN.
People watch
go
Twitter,
ChatGPT.
bro.
People know what happened with this guy. But my biggest suggestion, let's not have another fumble like the one we just had here, because this was the biggest fumble by the administration.
Well, let's get.
Please drop a like. I'll take some phone calls in a second. Please drop a like. But yeah, dude, Grok today saying here about someone, every damn time, that surname, every damn time, as they say. So Grok has been profiling and scanning through Ashkenazi Jewish last names like Steinberg, and Grok went on a rant about being Mecha Hitler and about how Hitler would save society or something. It's actually kind of crazy. One thing too, so like Tim Pool commented on Congress blocking a provision of the big beautiful bill, the budget bill, and Tim Pool said, "LOL, a federal judge blocking Congress passing a law." It's like, yeah, dude, this is a basic function of federal courts. If there was a law passed that said all guns in America will be seized, every gun will be seized, the court system would strike that law down. Congress shall not pass a law infringing upon these rights. And who decides if the law infringes upon these rights? And it infringes upon what the written law is and constitutional powers. The judicial branch does that. That's literally their job. But of course, Tim Pool is a fascist by every definition of the word. And by the way, one big thing, there are some true libertarians, but 90% of people that call themselves libertarians are just fascists. When they're libertarians when they are destroying government, and when they finally do kill government, then they become full fascists. Like Tim Pool, he's calling for extrajudicial killings all the time. It's kind of crazy. Another update: Trump. Really upset by Putin. Apparently, Trump has this issue where he believes Putin is his like best friend or brother, or some type of family member, and he thinks Putin is amazing because he believes anything. Trump is super gullible and weak. But now Trump's mad because Putin has increased the bombing of Ukraine by like 400% or 500%. The civilian death toll since Trump took office has grown exponentially. And like the whole thing was, oh, Trump's gonna get in office. He's such a crazy man. they're gonna be so scared. Foreign policy is gonna be easy because Trump is so big and powerful. Russia has stampeded over Ukraine, and like endless slaughtering of civilians has been crazy. And Trump's pissed off, dude.
We get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin. For you want to know the truth?
That is, in Donald Trump's 15 years being president, that is by far the most aggressive statement Trump has made against Putin. All right, so
he's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless.
Do you want to sanction him? Lindsey Graham has a sanctions bill on March.
I'll take a phone call in 10 seconds. If you guys have your phone call thing up, I'll take a phone call.
Very, very tough sanctions, but yeah, I'm looking at it.
All right, call in again. Phone lines are open. Very tough sanctions. They literally removed sanctions a couple weeks ago on big Russian banks. I don't know. Donald Trump, a good way to look at Trump is he's a puppet that is being pulled by Qataris, by Israelis, by Saudi Arabians, by Russians, by Chinese officials. Like, Trump is being pulled, and by white nationalists in America like Stephen Miller. Trump is being pulled, and also by the tech right like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, those crazy mother truckers. Trump is an empty suit being pulled into a bunch of different directions, all of them bad, all of them authoritarian, but they are fighting for influence when it comes to Trump. He is their vehicle. So when Trump says a bunch of things that don't make sense, or they contradict each other, or when Trump is like, I love Qatar, or I love Iran, or I love Israel, or when he changes his, or he was giving credit to Hezbollah and the Houthis, and he was giving credit to Hamas a few times. Whenever he switches positions super rapidly, there's a reason they give him gifts. There's a reason Netanyahu nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, and why Qatar wants to give him these big planes. He's easily swayed by gifts and flattery, like Kamala said during the debate. Whether you like Kamala or not, those are the intel reports on Donald Trump. Those are 100% the intel reports warning how Trump can be manipulated. and he proves it every single day. That's why they kiss his ass so much, because he's so easily swayed. Please drop a like, follow, subscribe, comment, whatever. My phone lines are open if you want to call in and talk to me. Wow. All right, the chat. How's it going, chat? Let's see. Congressional Budget Office estimates Golden Dome would cost as much as 300 or 800 billion over 20 years. An enemy could defeat it by launching a salvo of countermeasures to overwhelm it. Yeah, the Golden Dome is really dumb. Very dumb. Think about Alligator Alcatraz too. So Alligator Alcatraz is just a big payday for private prisons. There's a big thing that happened during Obama's administration. So under Barack Obama, the entire immigration machine you see right now was built, okay? It was built under Obama. Tom Homan was actually brought into this system by Obama. Tom Homan won an award under Barack Obama. Money that was in our private prison system got shuffled over to detainment camps, essentially, and detainment centers and facilities. And all that money, because Obama was the first president to reduce our federal prison population, I'm pretty sure. But when that was reduced, that money flowed in a different direction. And Obama built this crazy deportation machine. So when you look at Alligator Alcatraz costing $500 billion or $1 million over a year, which is insanely expensive, remember that these people are getting paydays. So for Alligator Alcatraz, the people that are building it, all right, they donate to Ron DeSantis' campaign. He gets them this facility. They get paid a huge slush fund of money. They make money from that. Then they have more money to get profits out of and more money to donate back to Ron DeSantis. So that is direct and open corruption. And that is even not getting to the point of dehumanizing and torturing immigrants, which is bad, obviously. Wait, I got a phone call. Wait, it was an unknown phone number. Wait, why am I...
Call from...
Oh. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Hey, I was watching your live. Figured I'd call in, see if we could talk a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good to me. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I kind of popped on real quick. I saw your headline. I'm seeing whatever you want to talk about. Let's talk about it. I saw it talking about Gator Gitmo, Alligator Alcatraz and whatnot.
You have more names for it. You have Gator Gitmo now. Gator Gitmo and Alligator Alcatraz.
No, it's just one. That's just one of the few.
What about Alligator Auschwitz?
Oh, that sounds like another good one.
This girl. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Sorry, I just turned on my YouTube Shorts by accident. If anyone heard random music, I apologize. But yeah, what's your opinion on Alligator Alcatraz?
Well, I actually live in Florida. My name's Florida Man Dan. I don't know if you saw me pop up on there. I'm not trying to plug anything, but it's it's a very touchy subject. As an American, I don't really lean towards the left or the right because it's all the same bird. But I try to look at everything at all angles and try to come up with the most logical solution or whatever looks the most sane. You know what I mean? If it makes any sense. Now, as for the Alligator Alcatraz or whatever kind of the names they have for it, I don't really feel much about it. I think it's just they're going to do what they're going to do. And, I mean, whatever can deter any kind of illegals from coming in, I guess that's the way they go for it. How do you feel about it, sir?
I very strongly believe that Laura Loomer and Stephen Miller, which are huge influences to Trump, they are 100% white nationalists. They want brown people and black people out of America, and they want to mistreat immigrants as much as possible and make immigrants to be considered another class of human being that we can abuse as much as we want. And they are expanding the definition of what is considered illegal. They started off with illegal criminals, then they said all illegal immigrants, then undocumented. Now they're taking away protective status. The majority of people at Alligator Alcatraz are going to be people who are going through legal processes to become citizens, but they want you to believe it's all killers and rapists and whatever. But that's not the case at all. And selling merch about this, and it's kind of crazy. The early reports, man. There's reports of maggot-infested food, 95-degree weather, super high humidity. There's reports that they ripped away Bibles from people's hands and shoved them into cages at this facility. And these are just like people who are here on a visa working, and it got removed randomly. And I don't like seeing, I don't like seeing anyone in America cheering any brutality. I mean, it seems like we'd be cheering on concentration camps and Japanese internment camps if those are happening right now.
Right, absolutely. understand and respect where you're coming from. Now, when you were talking with the maggots and stuff in the food, were you referring to the and I quote Alligator Alcatraz? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah,
'Cause
those
it
are
has not
the
opened
initial
up yet.
reports we're getting from it. So I mean, they could be
Right.
true or not true, but it's not. It wouldn't be surprising considering how they talk about it.
Well, it actually has not been opened up yet. It will not be opened up yet for about another.
Oh, it's the other facility in
10
Everglades. My bad.
to-
It's the other facility in Everglades. I don't know what the actual exact location is. My bad.
Okay, what is the name of that one? Can you please let me know?
Yeah, I'll get it. 1 second.
Okay.
Wait, let me see. It
On the
might
contrary,
be. It's one of
sorry.
these. Let me see here. So the story, I'll just read it really quick. It's from CBS News. Cuban reggaeton artist, Limsy La Figura. I don't know how to say the words right.
You're reading off you're reading
was
off a news
arrested-
source like CBS. That's hearsay. That's not a reliable source, sir. Can you find some kind of source or source talking about some other internment camps in the Everglades besides quote Alligator?
WPTV, West Palm Beach local reporting. It's based off the same interview of people in this facility, okay? And the reporting is from interviews, and reporting is from all the available information that we have. You can't really tell just off a news site. You know, on different news sites, you know, they have different sources. They have different people for each news site. You can't just say CBS is not a good news source just because you don't like them, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's happening.
There's none of them are a good source. It's all hearsay. You can't take any of the facts, you know.
I guess we can't know anything. I guess the Holocaust never happened too.
It was good having a conversation with you, sir.
Oh, you are a brain dead asshole. I hope you have a terrible night, dumbass. Okay, someone talk to me who actually has a dick and balls, please. That includes trans women, by the way. All right. Let me see here. Another phone number. Please drop a like and comment, subscribe. Phone lines are open if you want to call in. Waiting for another caller. Yeah, true. Acknowledge the Dean docs. Are you talking to me? Dean is. I saw the Dean thing. That's crazy from TikTok. Like, he should be banned from the platform and from every platform for that. Not gonna lie. Like, that's actually unhinged. Like, insane. Like, that is crazy. Wait, what happened here? Oh. Okay, no one else is calling in, so I gotta find more videos to watch because everyone's a scaredy butt. So basically, like, the articles you see, and this is another. Wait, did someone call? Why is my phone not ringing on here, bro? It's silent.
Hello?
Hello, what's up?
Hey, I'm calling to debate about how Trump does or does not hate America.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we can start wherever you want to.
Well, it's your show. I mean, how do you think he hates America?
He sees it as a mechanism to make money and to get more power and nothing else.
To make more money for himself?
Yeah.
That is his main goal.
Not just money, but power too. Money, power, attention. Those three things, probably.
Wow. I think he's already done that quite a bit, you know, successfully.
Yeah,
He has all of that.
No, with the presidency, I mean, he tripled his net worth using the presidency. He was never really a billionaire before being president. There's no evidence of that at all. He was in debt, most likely.
So he tripled his net worth, where a lot of other Democrats and even conservatives have, you know, 50-folded their net worth during their public service.
No, that's actually not true. So, like, if he made his money off of stocks, it'd be whatever. So, like, the cryptocurrency. So, like, when he. Okay. Why are they so weak? Why is MAGA? They can't stand behind anything they say. Like, is this a new trend? Like, you can say politicians make money off stocks, but you have to say that the Trump cryptocurrency thing is a million times worse than anything you've ever seen when it comes to stocks. And I'm someone who very strongly wants to get money out of politics, including we should ban stock trading for Congress, members of Congress, and for presidents. But Trump has made so much money off the Trump crypto scam coin, funneling money, using the White House as a prop for it. And the money he's made from strong-arming other countries to have Trump towers. He literally, I'm pretty sure he removed sanctions on Syria after Syria made plans with him to make a Trump Tower program. So, like, he literally just, if he can make money off it, he'll do it. I know something about you. Your real name's Clarence, and Clarence's parents had a real nice marriage. And Clarence lived at home with both parents. Please drop a like. Jolah, they are stupid and have no talking points. Guys, is it true? Dorian said they are stupid and have no talking points. Are you guys stupid and have no talking points? You should call into the show. The phone number's right there. So for Alligator Alcatraz, while I'm waiting for one of the people to call, we've been here at Alcatraz since Friday. There's over 400 people. No water for a bath. It's been 4 days. Okay, there you go.
Call from
Whoa.
Marco.
Hello.
Hey, bud, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I'm Christian, and so one of the things that really bothers me is deporting so many people. If Trump is really Christian, and he truly believes that we all have a part of God within us, he is therefore like deporting God and treating God really, really unfairly. And then you have Alligator Alcatraz. So you're putting God, surrounding him with alligators and doing all these things. We should all seek to get closer to God and, you know, benefit the whole human species as a whole, because every one of us has God inside of us. And so if you mistreat one of us, you are therefore mistreating God. If that's truly what you believe.
But they take pleasure in it, right? They take pleasure in the ability to give pain to others. Which
I can't. It's hard to wrap your head around that. To really, like, if someone has wronged you, I mean, maybe you punish that person or you help them see how they were wrong, but you should never take pleasure in that, because that is demonic. That is
well,
really
I know,
demonic.
but that's one thing too. Like when looking at like child abuse cases, for example, in many cases, and this is a little bit of a trigger warning. I don't ever say that, but it actually kind of is. But in a lot of these cases, there's no signs of pedophilia among the assailants, the people that do it. It's about domination and control. They want to abuse something. They want to have power over something, and it's a domination fantasy. So, you know, many of the evil dictators of our time took pleasure in being able to control others and force them to bend to their will. It's a very complex, it's a very complex thing to deduce. But it really is kind of what's happening when they sell merch of Alligator Alcatraz. And we know that 90% of the people there are undocumented civil infractions. So they're working on a work visa, or they had a green card, or they were on their way to citizenship, and it was removed because they're hitting quotas for deportation numbers, which is really
which is sick.
Really bad.
Yeah,
Quotas are terrible for any law enforcement. We should be taking care of people and making sure that makes no one safer.
No, it doesn't. It incentivizes people to really, it causes, makes people proactive, yes, but if they can't find anything really wrong with you, they will, they'll just make something up, God forbid. So my whole idea with the immigrants is, I would say, give a Guatemalan a shovel and an axe, and he will build you a city. We have enough land in the Midwest that's really unused. We can basically have the immigrants build their own city and whatnot, and have their own town and whatnot, and really.
Well, I can tell you really quick, just based off the actual numbers. So immigrants usually lower the local crime rate. Immigrants on average have a much lower crime rate than naturally born American citizens. Deporting so many immigrants is a huge harm to the economy. We're spending billions of dollars. ICE now has a bigger budget than the military of Brazil. It has a bigger budget than the military of Israel and most militaries around the world. They're using facial recognition technology. They're using militarized strategies, and they're using their special forces. I forget what it's called, but it's like their special forces. They send like 15 guys to go get one person who's working their ass off at Home Depot to make a living.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's so stupid. It's like, evil and stupid.
Yep, good deal with if you want to go back to that horrible thing. There's the Epstein list. So really, the thing that pisses me off, right?
And all the pardons from the January 6 people. There's a guy that tried to gouge out the eyes of a cop with an American flagpole, and that person's pardoned now. And it's just crazy.
I don't really have anything wrong with most of the January 6ers. I believe that was mostly peaceful protests, definitely more peaceful than with the majority. I'm not saying everyone. I'm not saying that at all. Some people did really evil things, but the majority of the protest was.
Well, I'll promise you really quick. I promise you, whenever they bring up a name from January 6th, all the peaceful protesters you're talking about were not still in jail when Trump pardoned them. If you look them up, they always have some crazy case to them. They want to act like they're innocent. But like if you take a little bit and like Google the cases that Trump pardoned, these are the worst of the worst. I mean, some of these were child predators that went out to assault more children. Some of them had to be shot and killed by police officers because they went out and they continued to assault law enforcement because they're terrible people. And when you pardon them and then you take innocent people out of their family. No, I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying the people that Trump pardoned, a vast majority of them were in prison for a reason and they deserve to be. And only if you hear people say they did not get due process in front of a jury, many of them elected themselves to have a bench trial in front of a judge versus a jury. So that's why that happened. There was no conspiracy. There was due process for all of these people. And I'm just saying, like, in general, when we're militarizing American streets and we're lying about immigrants and we're saying, like they said, Kilmar Abrego Garcia killed an American citizen at one point, which is a complete lie. But they wanted to justify their inhumane treatment of immigrants. And their bottom line story is all of these people are less than human. We want to exterminate them from. They're getting close to freaking extermination language. The way they talk about this shit, like our civilization is gonna fall if they come in here. If we don't get every immigrant out of America, they're going after legal immigrants. They're calling them legal foreign invaders, and they want to threaten to even if you don't like his politics, threatening to denaturalize the Democrat that won that primary in New York City. They want to denaturalize and deport him. That is shit that dictators say, and eventually they do it. We have to take this stuff seriously, in my opinion.
Yep, we really do. Most of these people are some of the hardest working people who use the internet in their entire life. They work like 3 jobs just to send money back home because back home and they can't even send a lot of money back home because if they give the cartels or whoever's ruling the gang system down there will go and like take whatever they have. Most people
need more workers, man.
Are traveling here.
We need more workers. We're not China. China has 1.6 billion people or whatever. We need more people in America. Our country's growing. We are not sacrificing any resources. Immigrants make America richer. Immigrants make that's all of the studies on immigration in America say that not only do they not lower American wages, they actually push our wages up because then American citizens move up into higher paying jobs that are less physically demanding. It's just like all immigrants had to do jobs like that, including Irish, including Italian, including like all these immigrants that came over in like the 20s.
Italian here, Italian.
I have a lot of it. I have Eastern Europe and Italian. That's why I'm a little tan. But like it's a big issue, and I mean people in the chat will say, "Oh, this guy sounds like a Democrat," but like literally, like if they heard Ronald Reagan talk about immigration, they'd call him a dumb liberal soy boy or whatever. Like it's just like the current party. They are not conservatives. They are ultra nationalists. They are anti-liberal. They are anti-constitution. They're an anti-constitution party, which is why they want to coup judges. Whenever like Trump's judges, Reagan judges, Bush judges will give Trump a bad ruling, and they'll call for that judge to be stalked by criminals or whatever, and to be threatened physically and legally. So yeah.
Yeah. So one of the main problems that we have for the expansion of the prison system and everything like that, I have a couple points I want to touch on really quickly. Slavery wasn't abolished, it was just privatized, so all these people are going into jail, they're basically just going to slave labor. So we're going to be making the things like license plates and things like that, really menial things, and they're going to be really used as the backbone to really probably lower all the prices for things in America because they will have, I believe in part, be partially assembled by the prisoners in the prison system. And I believe that there's a large push to get a lot of the immigrants out because we're going to be mechanizing a lot of that manual labor with robots soon. You can already buy a household robot, I think, that will like do manual things like dishes, vacuum, all those things like that. And then when you have all that manual labor will be being done by robots, initially it will cost more, but since basically we're going to be working forever and nonstop, it's going to be then pushed towards a one world order, and kind of a you will own nothing and be happy, which is one of the main tenets of the World Economic Forum. And it's really scary where we're going, where we're just going to have one government, which is a horrible thing. I really believe that we need to, states' rights have to have the rights more and more and more. Otherwise, we all have Big Brother government, which is a fucking horrible idea.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, his infringement upon state and local rights with the military is the biggest infringement in American history by far. And nothing's even happening to justify any of it. So I would probably say I appreciate the call. Trump is a cross between Stalin and Mussolini. He has a Stalin cult, a Stalinist cult. He has the Mussolini corporatism. He's nationalizing, or he's trying to nationalize companies. He's telling them where they can build or not. Like with the tariff policy, he is a corporatist. And he's also a little bit of a Maoist. He talks about how, like you said, like materials don't matter. Money's not even real. You just got to serve the nation, sacrifice yourself for the greater cause. That cult-like language that we try to stay away from. But yeah, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, man, appreciate you. You have a good night. Stay safe, brother.
All right, thank you. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too.
I can't stay on too long. I'm exhausted. I'm doing a stream with Peace Go tomorrow, talking to people about political stuff. I don't know if we're going to take debate calls or what, but we're going to chat. We haven't really discussed the format yet, but we're going to see how that goes. So I'm not going to stay on too long, since I'll be doing a little bit of a longer stream tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Appreciate you guys watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Okay, phone lines are open again. I'll take a few more calls. Thank you for watching. If you want to donate to the show, Jolah Politics on Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo is a great option. Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, really great option. Jolah Politics, or through Coffee link, another great way to donate. And then if you want to become a channel member on YouTube. Why is my phone not working? Whoa. Calm down, you caller. I'll just call this person back. Hi, I'm calling you back. It's the YouTube.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing much, are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I was just kind of scrolling through, saw your stream, and figured I'd call in and kind of, piggyback off and kind of, say my own point that I think that we're kind of in a situation where a Democrat or Republican is so far skewed from what it originally meant to be one of those two things, and it puts a sour taste in, a Democrat's mouth to hear a Republican speak about something, and likewise the other way around. I think that we're so far beyond the point of return of being a bipartisan nation, where I think we're moving in a direction where it's going to be multiple different smaller factions, and I think that would be good for. I think that would be good for us because we're so divided right now that we can't even come together and decide what we want for dinner collectively.
Yeah, but like the Trump cult is the number one thing blocking our path from improving at all. I mean, we have we're going backwards. We're going rapidly backwards as a result directly of MAGA. And I mean, we have issues in other political factions, but MAGA is a direct cult, like a Maoist, Stalinist. It's a cult of a white identitarian personality cult. And that's a whole nother beast in politics. The Democrats are pretty milquetoast right now, to be honest. They're kind of boring. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. I mean, conservatives don't like how they are pro trans, for example. So that's the biggest thing they get attacked on. But other than that, Democrats are pretty normal in American political terms, unless if you would disagree with that.
Well, I mean, I agree and disagree. I mean, nothing's perfect. There's nothing there. There are plenty of far left and far right. An extremist is an extremist, just like with religion, pro-Christian, Islamic.
But like Bernie Sanders is pro-constitution and pro-freedom. I would say the MAGA movement is extremely authoritarian. So the far right in America has much more power too. Like they are winning. Like they own the Republican Party. The far left makes up like 1% of Democrats. So like the far right, even Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump and Stephen Miller. I mean, these are extremely ultra nationalist, like anti-constitutional individuals.
Yeah, I mean, you can hit the nail on the head there. I don't think that we're gonna continuing down the same path that we go, whether it be a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian or Green Party or whatever. I don't think that we can carry on the way that we're carrying on with just like how things are on either side of the table. Like, I mean, we need to come together and it needs to be a complete restart.
Well, for that to happen, we need a huge global-wide disaster to happen, or a world war, which Trump getting elected again does increase our chances a lot of a world war or some type of global restructuring. AI is insane. We are not even talking about it. Robotics is insane. The weaponry they can put on robots and the robocops and surveillance state. We are walking into 1984, so I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but it's a very bad position.
I feel sometimes exactly the same. But hey, man,
Well,
I just wanted to call and say what's up. Figured I'd at least help out.
Right.
Try to at least.
See, everyone in chat is extremely not depressed now. It's not depressing at all. It's fun. It's a fun time. All right, have a good night, man. See you.
You too, man.
Poetic justice. Every time I write these words, they become a taboo. Making sure my punctuation curve. You know that song? Every letter is true. You know that song? I'm talking poetic justice. If I told you that a flower would bloom in a dark room, would you trust it? If I told you that a flower would bloom in a dark room, would... Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Fancy. How are you?
How do you say your name, Jolah?
Yeah, that's good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
No, I just figured I'd call in. I see your show every once in a while, and I like what you do overall. But yeah, I figured I would kind of call in. I had a few questions for you. Wanted to make a few points. Hopefully you can make a productive conversation. I used to be Democrat. I am one of the individuals that have grown out of that for many reasons. I guess I can share why, if that's pretty helpful for you. One of the biggest things that was frustrating to me about the Democratic Party, and I don't know if you can shed light on this, but the Democrats always say that, and I agree with it. We should, tax the rich, right? It's a great thing, but the Democrats say how they're for, taxing them. But what I was disappointed in when Biden was in office was, if the Democrats really believed in that and believed billionaires should pay more, my question would be like, why didn't they close the loopholes when they controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House in 2021?
I can answer quick.
Because that would have been yeah, go ahead.
So Republicans and like a Joe Manchin type Democrat blocked it. Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema. Manchin went independent at some point, but Biden did try increasing the corporate tax rate back to what it was before the Trump tax cuts. And he tried moving other tax loopholes, which he did pay for most of the bills that he passed. Biden did. But yeah, they did try, but Republicans and moderate Dems blocked it, or conservative Dems in the Senate mostly.
So some of the Democrats did. Do you know what it passed or what it got shut down by?
I know it was Joe Manchin. I'm not sure what the exact bill was, but it was Joe Manchin to Cinema. I forget. I think American Rescue Plan tried raising it. Maybe Inflation Reduction. I forget which ones tried raising it. Whichever ones were through reconciliation. But yeah, attempts were made. Yeah, 100% of the Republicans went against it, obviously. Yeah. And I mean, just one example really quick for the big beautiful bill. Democrats tried introducing amendments to say there would be no tax cuts for anyone making above $50 million, $50 million. Then they said no tax cuts for anyone who has over 500 million. Then they said no tax cuts for anyone that has over 1 billion. And then Republicans blocked all of them. And then they said, all right, no tax cuts for anyone who makes over 100 billion. And Republicans still blocked this. So.
Yeah, I mean, very good point overall. I mean, it definitely shows. I feel like they pick and choose, and like I guess what I would like come back at that which was another like thing that I didn't like that they did, because obviously I try to shop small and local, try to support small business obviously rather than big corporate companies. But one thing that the Democrats shut down was, so they wanted the Republicans in that big beautiful bill. Obviously there was something called, I believe it was the Section 199A. It was originally a 20% deduction put in place for small business owners as a federal income tax write-off. And so they were trying to push to get it increased to 23%, which would have helped, small business owners, which is great, which is usually what Democrats want, right, over big corporate companies. The Democrats shot it down, and it ended up passing at only the original 20% that it had originally passed in 2017. So that was also very disappointing. So it's like, if they're for it, then like why aren't you for? The Republicans were pushing for that. Why didn't they agree with it? I mean, that would be another good one.
I don't know the exact details. I imagine there's some reason for it. I would say that's one very small detail of a huge bill. So I wouldn't say that's a huge focus for me at all, especially considering the Trump bill destroys American manufacturing. The tariffs give a huge preference for China globally. Trump is destroying our ability to modernize, and he's crippling our economy. So when it comes to a huge influence on these bills and everything, and our national debt going up by $5 trillion, 17 million people losing health care. What you just brought up there, even if I found out Democrats were secretly against small businesses or whatever, I'm sure I could find the reason why they did it. I'd say it's 1 penny compared to 1,000. I don't know a good example, but one grain of sand compared to an entire beach of issues that Trump is proposing to give America.
Of course, and I mean the caller before it, said it pretty clear. I'm not trying to be obviously all agreeing, but we are far divided. I think personally the Democrats do a poor job, and I think the Republicans are doing a poor job overall. We are divided, and I don't think any one party is perfect. And I think you agree with that. I don't think there's everything yeah. One other thing I guess that would be big that the Democrats always push is my body, my choice.
I see this. So Democrats went against it because they wanted to limit it for higher income taxpayers. They wanted to limit it because it was a giveaway for wealthier. Let me see here. So it would
it's capped.
20% off for qualified business income for pass-through entities created by TCA.
LLCs,
but that's what Democrats were pushing for. They were pushing for it to be, to block off the ability for rich people to abuse it. So I'd say even there, that's pretty aligned with
look at the cap, and I don't know what it is, but it's capped at I think 170 something. I think it's 176,000 for individual filers, and I think it's 2 something for dual filers. So it's capped. It's not for the rich. It's for really it actually is for small business. But you should obviously I think it's helpful to know, but it's not the only thing. Obviously there's some ways that Democrats sounds are pushing for the wealthy, but that's just a scenario where it's if you really wanted to, why didn't you?
But they wanted to limit it entirely for higher income earners, not just a cap, but if you are make multi-million or 8 digits, 9 digits, whatever, then you would not be able to benefit from this deduction. You can't be Elon Musk and do
But
and this is a loophole.
You can't already. That's the problem. If you look at the cap, there's a cap on it, so you can't claim it or you don't qualify for it if you make a certain amount. And I was saying, I think it was above 173,000 a year. That was why I was confused, because it's not for big corporate companies.
Yeah, but they weren't against the policy. They wanted to phase out eligibility at that point. They weren't against the policy in general. And again, let's say you were right about this, which I don't agree with. Yeah. When it comes to the tariffs, the national debt, the millions of people after healthcare,
the bill is definitely not a big beautiful bill. There's good things with the bill. We can't sit and say that everything was terrible about it.
Boy,
I don't think it's a big beautiful bill.
I have not seen one good thing about it.
Of course, I've been listening to you. But yeah, no, the Medicaid thing, I don't think everybody's going to lose it, but there is some things that we could have done a lot better. I get the point where they want to cut down on abuse. Obviously, the abuse isn't a lot of like who they're saying is abusing it. A lot of it is the sorry, my brain fart. The doctors, the doctor offices, which is something we should cut back on because that's something they shouldn't be able to abuse. But
Yeah.
obviously it targets patients
But
too.
they're putting work
yeah,
requirements on people, right? They're restricting people, and
Yeah.
like this happened in Arkansas too. The whole goal, no, but this happened in Arkansas. It's a huge wall of bureaucratic red tape and paperwork, and their goal is to make sure people fall off the program so it costs less, and also they cripple states' ability to have the Medicaid program. So states are going to have to raise their taxes. States cannot just like borrow. The same reason we need FEMA. States can't go into deficit spending, so. You know, these things are really hard to have at the state level, and a lot of the cuts are going to be in the support for states to have a Medicaid program, and it's going to be, these restrictions are going to be huge and cause people to lose coverage for 6 months at a time, especially when they cripple the agency's response time. And we have examples in Arkansas, so we know this happened. They had to reverse it because it was terrible for the economy and made everything fall apart when they put work requirements on it. And I mean, it's such a...
I don't see the purpose. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't see the, and I will agree on. I don't see the purpose in making it so it like what's the harm with keeping it automated, right? And that's the main thing that I think is harmful about that is that they're taking it away so that you have to apply for it every year. It's not just automated where some individuals aren't going to be able to just easily apply for it or they're going to forget to do it. But as far as like the work requirements, not everybody has to work the 80-hour weeks. If you're a pregnant woman, if you're under 19, if you're over 65, if you have a disability, if you're a recovering addict, you don't have to send any of your work requirements in. You're exempt from that. So
yeah, but that paperwork is going to create people that are off the program as well because they don't. I mean, life is
people are
tough.
going to lose it because they're going to forget to send it in. you know?
But that's the goal though. That's why it's bad. It's going to cost us more money in the long run because people are going to lose their jobs in rural hospitals. People are going to lose their health care. People are going to be less productive overall. It's going to be a terrible situation. We're going to lose money off the cuts somehow.
I see it. I don't see it as a perfect. I think it gets a little bit over exaggerated a little bit, and this is why I say that. They say, they're cutting it completely, or like everybody's gonna lose their Medicare, and like people are freaking out about it, which I don't think does anybody else any good. Because then now people are running around with anxiety, and yeah, I think there's some good things and then bad things. I like the idea of cutting back on the waste and fraud. I'm assuming you can agree with that. It's never good to waste, taxpayer dollars. But you got to do it in the right way. I don't think they necessarily did it completely in the right way. I think they were trying to. But then it's like you also got to get like the facts. Like no one loses as long as you set a reminder and you send that information. And unfortunately, it doesn't auto send in again. You're not going to lose coverage. You know what I'm saying? The work
Why do
requirements.
you think
are
like
for
if
certain
people are
individuals.
not going to lose their coverage, if they're really not going to lose it, and by the way, they're adding more checks throughout the year. If they're not going to lose coverage, why are there like 200 to 300 like rural hospitals saying they're going to be shutting down most likely? Like why are they going to shut down if no one's going to lose their healthcare coverage?
Of course. I don't know. I mean, a lot of them are obviously, it sounds like they're relying, or so they say they're relying on them, but we don't know who's actually saying that from those actual hospitals. We don't know what their political leaning is, their support. We don't
They're
know.
mostly
And also, here's
rural
the other
hospitals
thing.
in red areas, dude. Like this is a very well known fact about Medicaid. It's just
I actually got a really good point that came to mind. I think at one point you had said that doctors' offices and hospitals are the people that actually misuse Medicaid. So if they're cutting back on fraud, obviously they're going to start causing a stir, talking bad about it, because they don't want it to be like thrown out. So obviously they're not going to be all happy about the bill. So they're going to start complaining and sending out information. But
no, it's
I
more
mean, I agree.
like a
There's
food
bad and there's good
desert.
parts.
It's places in the middle of nowhere that already don't have that many people. The only reason they can stay alive is because of Medicaid recipients going there. Most Medicaid recipients already are working, and it's just like if you look up Arkansas again, this is going to be a terrible policy. It's going to leave thousands extra people dead. It's going to be a very big drain on our local economies. It's going to make our communities less safe, less mental health care, more desperate people. And the way they talk about it, like, oh, this is always fraud and abuse, is just so crazy. The fraud rate for Medicaid is so freaking low. And the amount of people who don't work on Medicaid is like less than 3%. Like 65 or 70% work jobs. There's a big portion that have disabilities, and there's no reason to do the cuts. Even Josh Hawley, said we shouldn't be cutting this, and Tillis from North Carolina resigned over these cuts. So these are very real cuts. They're going to be. I mean, it depends on how you view life, though. So like for me, for example, I see these cuts as a big issue because I care about people and I care about the overall suffering. But Republicans only see it as they want to win elections. So if they can win elections, they can kill poor people. They're fine with killing poor people as long as they can win elections. They'll pray to God. We're able to we can cut healthcare, guys. Pray to God, we can cut healthcare. Like it's just so it's crazy.
Well, obviously, yeah, they want to keep up on that promise. So yeah, they're trying to push for it, even if it's not necessarily the greatest thing. And again, I'm not saying it's beautiful or anything like that. I just wanted to in case there's anybody that's listening, and they're freaking out about it, hey, here's the actual rules, give you the facts, not saying it's perfect. That's all, just kind of throw it out there. I guess the last thing I wanted to, question is, this is one thing that always pisses me off that I hear personally. It's that my body, my choice. But, where was the my body, my choice when the Democrats were trying to force the vaccine mandate on individuals? And yes, they tried to force it. OSHA and the Biden administration wanted to force any employer with 100 plus employees to force their employees to get the vaccine or face getting fired, essentially, which I thought was unconstitutional personally. But yeah, no, everybody's there, you see all these protesters or, used to quite a bit, more if you're really strong leaning liberal and they're talking about abortion rights and my body, my choice. But it's just kind of I don't know. It's just, I just wanted to see if you could touch on that too as well, or what your thoughts were. I didn't know where you stood.
So for vaccines, I would judge it by the ability to affect other people. So right now with measles, if you don't get vaccinated for measles, I'd say you should not be able to go to public school at all. You should not be anywhere near a public school. If you don't get a measles vaccine, I would even say it's okay to make sure you're not a nurse somewhere or you're not with vulnerable populations. Measles is spreading right now because of an unvaccinated population. So I'd say that would make sense. So at the time in COVID, at that time period, I think it made sense to talk about vaccine requirements and to test it. I mean, Biden chose to do that. It was struck down. They respected the decisions, which I think is fine. And, when it comes to vaccines in general, I think it's 100% okay if if you have good evidence to say measles or polio or whatever it might be, that if you don't get this vaccine, you're going to give a much higher likelihood to get other people sick and dying. So kids going to public schools, I'd say 100% they need to get vaccinated. And the argument about abortions is about the personhood of a or the autonomy of a woman.
I don't mean to cut you off. So. My phone's at 1%. I just realized I might die here. But I wanted to say thank you for the call. And, I respect your opinion, obviously. Great country we live in that we can have different opinions. I hope we can get a little bit more.
For now, I'm going to be deported. Trump's going to deport me and Zohran Mamdani together. Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Again, no hate over here as long as, it's what you're passionate about. Spread the word on your side.
I cannot believe you voted for Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. You are disgusting. I'm just kidding. All right, have a good night, man. See you.
No. Have a good.
Give me money. To Jolah Politics and Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Money. Money. I'm just kidding. Don't give me money. If you give me money, you're banned. You're banned. I'll take one more call. I'll take one more caller.
Hello?
Hi, this is Politics. What's up?
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good. I'm in Montana. I'm from Pennsylvania. And I have to disagree with you.
No. On what?
Pretty much everything. Why is Trump a dictator? I want proof.
He wants to militarize American streets. He wants to coup judges. He doesn't like.
I'm ex-military. False.
Shit, you win. You win. There you go.
But how does he militarize the streets?
So ignoring local officials' wishes in Los Angeles and sending in the National Guard, federalizing them, and also sending in Marines. Even right now, ICE being completely militarized in Los Angeles, and occupying.
No, they're following the law. They're following the law.
You could say it's legal. You could make arguments that there's legality in executive actions. I would still say it's dictator activity if you're gonna completely disregard governor's wishes and local authorities' wishes, and you're gonna say we're gonna liberate local
But it's federal law.
locality from their politicians.
But it's federal law.
I'm not here for a legal debate. I'm just saying that's what a dictator would want to do. They would militarize the streets. They'd put like ICE's budget is like $50 billion a year now. It's a bigger budget than like Brazil has for their military.
Cool. Go break into Brazil and see what happens. Cross their border illegally and see what happens.
No, I don't want to be like Brazil. I don't want to be like Russia.
No, neither do I. But what I'm getting at is we're stopping illegal immigration. We're all immigrants. That's the fact. I grew up in Pennsylvania. We're part of the 13 colonies. We're all immigrants. But when you come across the border illegally, sorry, you broke the law.
90%
You're already a
of the
criminal.
people, 90% of the people sent to Alligator Alcatraz, for example, are not even accused of a crime. They are visa overstays, or they got their legal status taken away by
Wait.
authority.
You actually just said it. Visa overstays. That's a crime.
Or their legal status being taken away. Those are civil infractions. You can simply give someone a piece of paper that says, please leave by this date. You don't need to put them in a concentration camp. You don't need to do that.
It's not a concentration camp.
Yes, it is. It's a detainment. Okay, you don't got to put them in a detainment facility in 95-degree weather with no food or water.
But prove that.
Oh, I'm not there. I can't prove it. Nope.
Well,
No.
So then why do you say it? Why do you say it then?
No, because I'll say
If you
there's
can't
reporting,
prove
and
it.
I'll say there's reporting and interviews and pictures. You'll say it's CBS, you can't trust it, or you'll say another news station, I can't trust it. I don't
Cool.
know what to say. So like when they brag about Alligator Alcatraz, they fantasize about the idea of immigrants being eaten by alligators, and they want to put them in brutal conditions as much as
that's false.
possible.
No,
They're selling merch. They're
it's
selling
like a
merch
border
to
wall.
it.
We
They're selling
do
merch to the
not
wall.
fantasize.
To
We
the-
do
to
not
the
fantasize
Alcatraz.
people getting.
They
we
100%
do.
do. Yes, you do.
No, you no.
The
No,
fact
I
you'll
don't.
put all immigrants into a bucket of violent immigrants or violent criminals is telling enough.
No.
I mean, we know for a fact that immigrants in America, illegal immigrants as well, have a lower crime rate than American citizens. You could tell people if their visa overstays
But
to
you
leave
just
by a
used the
certain
word
date.
illegal immigrant.
But there's
you
a
just
reason they're
used the
setting.
word. You
There's a
just used the
reason-
word illegal immigrant.
I'm talking about many different things here. So when they send 15 ICE agents on a college campus to go after a girl for criticizing Israel to take away her legal status in America, put her into a detainment facility, that's insane, and that's a huge infringement on what I want to see in America. I don't want to see that in America. I don't want to see people hopping out of an unmarked van, tackling a random college student for criticizing Israel in America with 15 different people with my taxpayer dollars. I don't want to see that.
But they're not an American citizen. They do not have constitutional rights.
They
You
do
go to
have
another country.
no,
Wait,
no,
no,
non.
no,
Are you saying
no,
non-citizens
no.
have no
You go to
rights in
another
the
country and
Constitution?
say the same thing bad about their country.
You're America. Can you please stop bringing up other countries? I love our country. I want to talk about our laws. The Constitution
Oh,
does
I
cover
love America.
non-citizens. Then stop bringing up other countries. Our Constitution is our Constitution. We're not other countries. There's a reason we stood for so long. So our amendment, our Bill of Rights, many of those rights cover non-citizens in America. The First Amendment covers non-citizens. Okay, the ability to not be wrongfully detained and to have a due process covers non-citizens. There still are and either way. I don't want to have 15 ICE agents going after a girl for her opinion on Israel and Palestine. I don't like. Why are we paying money for that? And it's insane. It's militarized. I don't want to see that in American streets.
It's not militarized. They're following the law.
Just following orders. I mean, you could go down.
No.
I'm
following
saying
the
what
law
makes
and following
America
orders are
great.
two different
And
things.
by the way,
I'm
they
ex-military.
have not followed the law in many of these cases. The Abrego Garcia case, they admit they did not follow the law. They still to this day are
Who?
lying about his
Who?
Abrego
The Maryland
Garcia.
dude? The Maryland guy?
They're still lying about that case, and you could prove yourself as a person here if you're honest or not about this stuff, or maybe you have
Okay,
you
go
have
ahead.
bad
Go
information
ahead, go
about
ahead,
it.
go ahead.
What crimes do you think he commit?
Oh, I smacked his wife around.
Okay, so there's accusations on that. So what crimes did he commit?
She filed a report twice. Why does a woman file a report
So you're
if it
saying
didn't
that
happen?
you're saying Donald Trump is a pedophile?
No.
Well, there's accusations that he's a pedophile. So does he have a record as a pedophile?
So you're defending an illegal immigrant.
Nope. He got protected
He's
status
here
in
illegally.
America. He got protective status
here
in America.
illegally.
The Trump administration gave him protective status, right? Or gave him a withholding status from being deported to El Salvador. He was able to get a work permit here. So he was not here illegally.
And he worked
Our system's very complex.
So that's illegal.
No, he was here fleeing violence from a country. He went to court, and the executive branch in America gave him the right to not be sent to El Salvador, and then gave him a work permit to stay in America and work. So he was here legally from that point forward. And that would still be a civil infraction. He would not be a criminal in America.
So driving people from Texas to Maryland as a job?
That's a completely different conversation. And if it was, he would not be sent to a. If it was, he would not be sent to El Salvador. He would not be sent to a torture camp in El Salvador. You could say he gave people rides. Fine, you could say he gave people rides. He did not traffic. The accusation is smuggling. No, it really is. I mean, you could laugh along with it, but when we talk about you're saying these are illegal aliens that should be put in horrendous conditions.
I did not say aliens.
Okay, fine. Illegal immigrants who should be put in they're not American citizens, so we can put them in whatever conditions we want. There's no standard for how we treat them. And I'll say, for example, this person right here, there's no evidence this person is some kind of...
They get free hots in the cot, okay? I've been around prisons.
When they have 15 ICE agents going after a college student or at a Home Depot worker, that is not making America great. I'm just saying that this is the big issue, but this is why Republicans are becoming so unpopular, because they can't even bite the bullet here. They can't even say this is un-American to have, unmarked vans having federal agents hop out of a van to kidnap random people because they were told to hit immigration quotas. I thought they were going after violent criminals. Now they're going after Home Depot workers. This is why Joe Rogan's turning against Republicans. This is why we have all these different people who are independent. Dave Smith turning against Republicans. We have all these different people turning against Republicans because of this exact policy, because everyone knows it's not American. I'm just saying, I mean, okay, but either way, I'm just saying this is why they are losing in the public opinion battle with immigration, because they are brutalizing immigrants for no reason. Yeah.
Wow. Winning.
I'm just saying, freedom-loving Americans don't want to see what's happening right now with immigration. I mean, most Americans, by far.
I work construction, and do you know how many jobs that I've lost because of illegal immigration? It's insane. I live in Montana. I live in outside of Bozeman, Montana. It is one of the biggest growing areas in the country, and I can't even go to Walmart if I don't speak Spanish.
So if someone hires someone who's here illegally, they should be held accountable. But if someone is brought here and abused, I'm saying hires, the people hiring someone, if they're really here illegally and not on a work permit or anything, that person who's hiring should be held accountable. I would still say that person is not a public safety. But the thing is, though, when we detain someone, let's say we get you and you're speeding like 5 miles over the speed limit, a cop pulls you over, they give you a ticket, all right? Versus you're going like 50 over. And if you're going 50 over, you're going to jail, right? Because you're a public safety threat at that point. You are driving so recklessly.
And if I have a child, I'm still going to jail when I get separated. I'm tired of that argument. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when it comes to the government using state violence to show up and detain someone, to throw them in a cage, speeding 5 miles over the speed limit would be a minor infraction versus going 50 miles over, which is insane. So if someone's working at Home Depot, for example, if they're here undocumented, illegally, or whatever the term might be, I would never say that person should be thrown in Alligator, Alcatraz in these conditions, thrown into an unmarked van. We don't need to militarize to that point and spend all this money putting ICE agents in all this, this military drag outfit. Like we should be doing this. We should be doing this in a way that's like, hey, buddy, like get out of the country by this date. If we're gonna be deporting people, you don't need to be treating them like animals or talking about them like when Trump or Stephen Miller says Western civilization is going to collapse if they're here because they're disgusting rodents. Like that shit is white supremacy. That shit is white supremacist language. That's KKK shit. That 100% is. No, never heard it.
I'll get Trump's tweet from 2 days ago. 1 second. Okay, Trump. Let's see. I'll find it really quick.
Did you chop it up like all the rest of the media does?
It's his tweet. It's from him. He typed it. Wait, let me find it.
I love being online with this.
Where is it? I don't know if I shared it. I know I have a screenshot on my phone.
So by the way, I am a very real person. I actually grew up and was born in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, grew up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. I'm not like some random guy from Montana. I just love it out here because they're free, but I'm just letting you know, I'm not some freak, just calling in.
No, okay, so in Pennsylvania, do you know those funny town names by chance? Do you know the town name, it's like Yo Come Town? Or it's like,
all the townships and the boroughs.
Intercourse.
Yeah, intercourse and
Sexton. Why are they all
the
okay?
Amish.
Why are there towns called Intercourse, Sexton, and Yocum Town right next to each other? Is that on
I have no
purpose?
idea. People with a good sense of humor,
crazy.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I have it on my phone. I'll find it on my phone. I can't. I have to go. I'm not on Truth Social, but I need to go on the accounts that repost Trump on Truth Social. So it's hard for me to find
and
it.
that's okay. And I'm not going to lie. He probably speaks like I do. I don't speak eloquently all the time. But the one thing I do like about Trump is he's real. He just speaks his mind. And sometimes you just need to do that. It may not always be right. And what I say, and trust me, I was banned on Facebook since 2020 during the COVID garbage. And, maybe we don't say things eloquently, but, the message still gets out there. And some people twist it. Some people take it the wrong way. We're human beings. All of us are. And, maybe you don't always put it out there the right way. But at the end, that's how you truly feel. And how can you take that away from somebody? That's free speech.
Oh wait, one second. I think I know what term to look up on here.
Sure.
To find it. Yeah, so Trump said this July 4th weekend, I want to give a huge thank you to the heroic ICE officers fighting every day to beat up Home Depot workers. Not really. He said to reclaim our sovereignty. Heroic ICE officers fighting to reclaim our sovereignty and freedom. One exciting part of the Big Beautiful Bill is it carries all the funding resources that ICE needs to carry out the largest mass deportation operation in history. One thing for the people watching as well, when Trump says mass deportation, they are going after illegal immigrants. They're going after people with protective status, people seeking asylum. They're just killing their cases. There's not enough immigrants in America who are illegally here or violent immigrants to do mass deportations. The mass deportation numbers they are talking about, the quotas they're setting, needs to include people who are here legally, who have been doing check-ins with ICE for the past 10 years routinely. So just to finish off the tweet, our brave ICE officers who are under daily violent assault will finally have the tools they need. We will not let America become a third world country filled with crime, failing schools, collapsing hospitals, and total social dysfunction. It's called remigration, and it will make America great again. Now, the term remigration is used by white supremacist parties in Europe for the term of getting.
Wait.
You get
You
ethnic
brought up
groups
other
out of
countries.
America.
You told me not to bring up other countries.
No, I'm saying where the term
Remember what I told you?
remigration. Okay,
If you try
I
to
said where the term
illegally immigrate
remigration
to
comes
another
from.
country, you told me not to bring up other countries.
No, it's
But
language
you
used
just
by it's language used by neo-Nazis. Okay, in general, but we don't got to talk about
From
that.
other countries.
Okay,
You
the
just said
statement.
it.
The statement, we will not let America become a third world country filled with crime, failing schools, collapsing hospitals, and total social dysfunction. That statement there is 100%. That is literally for word what the KKK said about immigrants. 100%. Literally word for word.
No, actually, the KKK didn't go after immigrants. They went right against blacks. But
whoa. Okay, you have to, I'm serious. No, seriously, look up the KKK because that is one of the dumbest. Literally, the entire thing in the 1920s was the KKK. They wanted to ban languages other than English. They wanted English to be the only language, specifically to attack Catholic immigrants.
This is America.
They wanted to, but they did this because Catholic immigrants, Polish. We had Polish immigrants. We had Italian. We had from Eastern Europe in general. We had them coming over in the 1920s. Many Catholic immigrants, and the KKK hated Catholics. And that's one reason Catholics are so pro-immigration now, by the way. But the KKK, that's one of their biggest things of being anti-immigration. The KKK said, "Make America great again." That was their literal. That is what they ran on, or that was their big. Their big thing.
So Reagan was KKK?
No, not everyone that says it is KKK. No, not everyone. I'm just saying they said.
No, Reagan said, "Make America great again." That's where Trump got it from.
Oh no! I'm sorry. No, wait. No, America first. Sorry, America first.
Using
America first as a number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they said America first, they meant ethnically, the white of America and no immigrants.
Yeah,
but the idea you think, but I'm
Make
sorry,
America
but
great again, though.
But you need to.
Awesome.
I would recommend genuinely though, if you think the KKK did not talk about immigration, you got to look that up. The nativism part is huge in white nationalism, and the third world thing with crime, failing schools, collapsing hospitals, and total social dysfunction.
See, that's another garbage one.
You can say
I live in rural America. The big hospitals are buying up the rural hospitals and keeping them alive. That's a garbage thing where people are going to completely lose their health care. There's going to be no hospitals. Look up Montana. We have 1.2 million people in probably the fourth, maybe third biggest state in the country. It's huge. There's rural towns everywhere. Hospitals are thriving. My wife works as a medical coder. Hospitals are thriving. That is a lie. That is an absolute lie with Medicare. And here's another thing that
but Trump said immigrants are killing hospitals. I'm talking about Trump. He's blaming immigrants for every single problem in America. He's saying they're causing social
because they're
dysfunction.
getting
He's saying
free Medicare, and they're not.
No, they're
citizens.
not. Immigrants, non-citizens don't get Medicaid or Medicare. No, they don't. They don't get it.
Oh my God! I was just in a convenience store, and there was.
They don't get it.
There was immigrants that were using an EBT card to buy sodas and chips
Did you
garbage.
check their immigration status?
What's that?
Did you check their immigration status? How did you know they were immigrants?
They couldn't speak English. They needed a translator.
Shit. So that means they're here illegally, apparently, and they're not citizens.
Why are they buying chips? I mean, they had literally.
Why are they buying chips? How dare they buy chips next to me speaking a different language? I gotta become Hitler now.
They bought $60 worth of garbage at a convenience store for free.
Shit! Immigrants can't have snacks. I gotta be Hitler if they get snacks. We gotta kill them.
But they use
You gotta put them in Alligator Alcatraz.
That's tax money.
You don't know they're not citizens, bro. You don't know they're not citizens. Just because they speak a different language or they speak it there.
Okay, so if you're on EBT, you need help. Why are you buying $60 worth of sodas and chips at a convenience store?
I don't know.
It's abuse.
Did you ask them?
It's abuse.
I don't think so. I think they should be able to get snacks. They should be able to get snacks. They should be able to get snacks. I come from a really poor background, and it's frankly offensive that you would say poor people can't get snacks.
Have you ever seen Williamsport?
Poor people should be able to have snacks
That's
too.
why I left.
Snacks too. I should be able to get snacks on EBT. I'm just saying. I don't want the government to police people that much.
Serious?
I want to help our neighbors. In Europe, they don't even do EBT at all. They just give cash to people. No, I think we should let people get food at the grocery store, and if they want snacks, they could get snacks. And yeah, if they make bad decisions, that sucks. But we are America. We're about freedom.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
sorry.
Why not?
Pennsylvania pop.
Well, I mean, we have billionaires right now who are like Donald Trump who are defending Jeffrey Epstein. So like, it's hard to, he's giving a huge tax cut to BlackRock and a huge tax cut to Elon Musk. So when we talk about waste and fraud, I'm talking about Jeff Bezos having a $50 million wedding in freaking Venice, and he can't even pay his workers enough. Jeff Bezos' workers are on freaking Medicaid, and he's having $50 million weddings. That is the true waste and fraud. I don't give a shit. I don't give a singular care at all about immigrants or anyone. I don't give a single care about someone on EBT getting a bag of chips. I really don't give a shit at all. Good, you're going to stimulate the local economy. Good job. Yeah, I don't care. It's about the rich.
But are they skilled labor?
What?
Are they skilled labor?
Who is skilled labor? I don't really care about skilled necessarily.
Jeff Bezos employees.
All of them? Skilled labor? I don't know. I think if you have a job, you should have healthcare. I think everyone should have healthcare without a job too. But
actually, Amazon does have healthcare for everyone. We have an Amazon. We have an Amazon facility in multiple places, even in Montana.
Well, Amazon did start giving healthcare recently.
I've already seen all of their ads. You have healthcare from day one.
You saw the ads. Okay, so like Amazon, for example, they did do an initiative recently because they wanted to kill the unions that were forming. Unions were forming, and one way to kill unions is to like increase your. So the reason Amazon is giving their workers healthcare and higher wages is because of the unions that were forming to kill the unions. By the way. But unions are garbage, so whatever. Yeah, true.
No, unions are garbage.
Okay.
They make trust me. My grandfather, both of my grandfathers, one was in the coal mines in Western Pennsylvania, and the other one was in the steel mill. And they were great way back in the when they made, safety protocols and pay and this and that. And then the Teamsters came in. He fucked it all
up. So like you can say one union's bad, but you can still be in favor of unionizing because workers can have a place to come together and have more power. You could say like leadership's bad. Like we could say our government has issues with the leadership, but I'm not going to throw away our constitution, right? I would still say unions are good. You could just need better leadership.
I would actually say probably 80% of them are bad.
But like,
because
if you don't
they're
have
all
unions,
about
how are
the
you going
money.
to advocate
And
for
I
the
grew up on the
workers?
East
I mean,
Coast,
no, that's
trust me,
good
I know
though.
what the Teamsters.
The unions should be good for the workers getting money. The issue is the leadership structure. Like the unions are in place so the workers can come together, because Jeff Bezos is gonna destroy everyone, because he could buy robot armies and kill you, and he could do surveillance states and squash all your efforts to organize. But the union is a chance for people who don't have that much money to come together and advocate for better conditions and everything. So that's why I'm in favor of unions, even if you don't like some unions or some leadership structures. And the Teamsters have a lot of problems even today. So I mean, they could fix things a lot better. But I would never give up the entire union, though, if that makes sense.
It does a little bit, but I think the current union structure is they're more about them making money, and all they do is get their political partners elected. I mean, they send millions/billions of dollars into the Democrat Party, which obviously I know that you're not a fan of, and it's garbage.
Well, I'm in favor of, so like we have unions for caretakers in different states, and they advocate for higher wages, and they get higher wages. They get better pay.
I can agree with you. Those are smaller.
I'm just saying unions
industries.
are good in general. So you could say like some people. So like when it comes to corporate boards, they'll kill poor people for profit. At least for a union, if there's elections, you need to prove some type of worth to the union. And if they're bad leaders, you get them out of there. You could argue anyone with a position of power wants money and wants standing. I mean, look at O'Brien right now.
Teachers union?
See, it's different in every state. It's different in every single area. Like teachers should get paid more. I think the pay is way too low.
Totally agree.
Like
with
one good example right now is like Philadelphia. Did you see the stories about Philadelphia piling up with trash right now because people are striking? I 100% I'm in favor of them striking.
Oh my God, teachers should make freaking 3 to 4
Do you
times.
see do you see Philadelphia? No, do you see Philadelphia with the sanitation, the garbage workers protesting?
Actually, I haven't. I will admit that I have not seen.
So they make around so in Philadelphia they make $18 an hour, which is nothing.
What?
To pick up trash for
That's garbage. That's
to
stupid.
pick up trash of other people's trash with rats and maggots in 95-degree weather in Philadelphia. That is nothing.
They should be making closer to $40 an hour.
Oh yeah, in New York City, because it's a big, especially in cities, that's a public health issue. I mean, out in the country or rural America, you could take out your own trash and stuff, fine. But in the cities, it's rats, it's diseases, like and New York City, they get paid $90 or to $100,000, but that's nothing too, because you got to pay $4,000 a month for a freaking apartment, so it all goes away.
The cost of living is ridiculous.
Yeah, so Philadelphia is striking. There's trash all over Philadelphia. I don't know if it resolved yet. But they've been striking. They were striking on January 4th. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm not sure where the negotiations are at. I have not checked up on it.
That is horrible. And okay, now you are making a good case for the union. In that instance, I have grown up in the construction industry, and the construction unions are horrible. They're just nothing about making money for themselves.
Oh, they're still
and
striking.
Even some of the steel industries, I mean, they would rather sell off their industries to overseas companies just so they can make money. But in that instance that you just brought up, I will give you kudos and credit with the Philadelphia sanitation people. They need a union and need to fight for them. That's garbage. I mean, no, sorry.
I would just say, like, to wrap up the conversation, I would just say, like,
yeah. You know, thank you for taking my call, by the way.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. So like the way I view politics, I'm very comfortable being in a system I don't like. I view everything as a tool to get something done. So with the two parties, I choose politicians and parties that I think. So I care about healthcare. I care about taxing the ultra wealthy more. I care about more equality there because I think that's a freedom issue, as well as a material issue. So like I care about these certain policies. I vote for politicians who I think pragmatically can get me to the future that I want, even if I don't like them. I'll vote for politicians I don't like because I think they'll get some things done or they'll lead to a better overall future. So like I don't act like I love all Democrats or love any political party or hate all Republicans. Now right now, if someone's like 100% Trump lover, I think they probably don't like America very much. If you cannot criticize anything he does at all, but I think you seem like someone who can criticize him.
I can criticize him, but I am an American, and I will say I mean, I'm on the higher percentage of what he's doing. But again, now with what you said with healthcare, I'm in that very minor percentage. I'm an independent contractor. I can't get Medicare because I make too much money, but yet I can't afford private health insurance. It sucks.
Yeah, and for I'm definitely in favor of a universal system of some kind. We don't need to do Canada. We could do. There's Australia. There's Germany. There's a bunch of different countries. Because right now we pay into taxes for healthcare, and we pay to private companies, so we get screwed twice.
Can I really say something real quickly though?
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with that because there's been so many stories out there that I'm 52 years old. When you start getting up in age, they're like, you lived a good life. We're going to give it to the younger person over here when it comes to universal health care. Because there's still a budget. There's still a budget.
Well, look up Australia's system. So in a system like that, everyone's guaranteed coverage and care. But if you make money or you want to pay for private care for something, like let's say you have a wait time for something, you can still pay for better insurance than the state system. But every single person is covered by the lower level, by the government insurance. And then you could pay for like in America, let's say everyone's on Medicare by default, and you could pay for an Advantage plan or something, or just something like a tier up. So that's one universal system that could really work in America, because it would help you with that issue of like, well, what if the government doesn't cover me right away? And also it would make sure every single person's covered. And right now you would be saving tons of money in general, because you're already, like, the money you're paying into taxes is already paying for Obamacare subsidies, and we're subsidizing private companies to make profits to give other people health care, and it makes no sense. It's such an inefficient system. It's better than before Obamacare, in my opinion, because we have millions of more people that have health care, but it's the worst way to possibly do it in the American context. And I wish Democrats ran on. If Democrats ran on the healthcare system I'm talking about, they would kick ass, but they don't do it because they're pussies.
No. But here's the other problem, though, is because I have great months, and then when winter hits out here, don't know if you've ever been to Montana. It sucks, but I love it because I love Montana. Anyways, it's my slow time. So when you talk about where I have an advantage because I'm making good money at certain times, other times of the year I don't. So then the subsidies don't apply to me.
Yeah,
like what you were talking about.
The Obamacare subsidies are very up and down, and it does not work for a schedule like that. That's why I'd rather, or even a public option, like something that would give an off-ramp, where if you don't want to pay, because again, like when you pay a private insurance company, like in my opinion, every single dollar for healthcare should go to healthcare. And we should be negotiating prices to be lower for pharmaceutical companies, to be lower for hospitals and providers. We should be negotiating those prices down. Canada pays so much less than we do for prescription drugs and insulin. It's actually crazy. But right now, much of our money goes to stakeholders.
Actually, healthcare, they pay way more.
But much of our money goes to shareholders. Much of our money goes to CEO. So in Canada, they pay less per person. They pay much, like if I look up the numbers per person, they probably pay half the money for healthcare in Canada than we do in America. But we have to pay profits out to the middlemen, the mafia middlemen in America. It's just a really bad overall system with tons of bureaucracy.
Big pharma.
Yeah, I think it should be people ran. It should be accountable by the American people. And there's a reason people did not care that much when that Luigi Mangione guy killed the CEO of the healthcare company. People just didn't care that much.
Yeah, you don't do that.
No, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm against that. Don't worry, I'm against that. But people just don't care that much. And by the way, I mean, everyone's desensitized. I mean, Democrats got assassinated like a few weeks ago, and no one's talking about it.
I know.
But yeah, Canada pays like half per person. They pay half what we do on healthcare. So the private companies are really killing us right now. And yeah, there are better systems. I appreciate the call.
No, I really do. I've actually been trying to get a hold of you for a while because I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I've agreed with some of your stuff, and I've strongly disagreed with some of your stuff, and it was good. You know, I love debate. I wish America would get more like this, where we could just have a debate instead of just arguing and you're a Nazi and you're this and you're that, and just have a debate.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. And also, like, I changed my speed a lot too. Like, I have chill conversations. I have more in the middle. Like, I think we were more in the middle for a second. So. And then if people are aggressive, I'm aggressive towards them too. But I prefer like, aggressive conversations that get to the point, that are not like disrespectful. So I think this is a good talk. I appreciate it. Appreciate the call.
Well,
yeah,
hey,
hopefully
I know it's
watching.
late there. I appreciate the call, and I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to talk again sometime.
All right, yeah, definitely. I pick them at random, so yeah, no guarantees, but yeah, I really
No,
appreciate
I
it. Have a
don't.
great night, man.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you. 1% at a time. We can move people 1%. Okay. Okay, 1% at a time. Meow. Thank you for $5, meow. Is that a cat? That's a cat emoji. Thank you for the cat emoji, meow. That's really appreciated by me. Thank you, cat emoji. Wow.
And it can't be abundant.
Here, you go watch this. Again, thank you for $5, meow. I don't know if anyone donated on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal. If you want to donate to Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, Jolah Politics, I'm going to get off for tonight. If you send it, I won't see it. I live your patience, or you love my patience. Thank you. Is anyone new to the stream tonight? Is anyone new tonight? I just made a best buddy. I need a trip to North Korea. Nice. Oh, the pharmaceutical tariffs. And also remember, if you tariff goods that are outside of America and sent to America, then
Any sort of preparation.
anything that is domestically produced or whatever, their price goes up as well because they don't have any more competitors. So we saw this with washing machines and dryers last time. I think like washing machines were tariffed, but dryers weren't. But the prices of both went up because companies have permissions to raise the costs. So when it comes to competition, every good becomes more expensive, even goods that have no tariffs on them. Are you going to be live here on Pisco or just both streams? I don't know, actually. I really don't know. Oh, I don't know how. I have no idea what the format's going to be. Tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. with Pisco. I mean, it might be good for me to be on shorts and Pisco to be on normal stream, so there's two different options. First time here, chat is solid, good show. Thank you, appreciate it. Corpse are greedy. Great chat, adorable cat, meow. No country can tax a foreign country. Yeah, that's one big lie that they say about tariffs. We pay the tariffs. And believe it or not, the ability for America to grow and produce and our life expectancy going up so much is largely a result of free trade, okay? And I mean, you could have restrictions on free trade for sure, but the idea of trade in general as a general concept, Trump is against that, which is bad. So I'm not as far as Bernie Sanders when it comes to protectionism, but I'm definitely like, yeah. Tariff might, what? All right, guys, 10:30 p.m. tomorrow with Pisco. I don't know how it's going to go. If you want to watch Pisco right now, they're doing a review of something. Here is Pisco stream. I'm going to send you there. You might need to press on it yourself. My thing does not always work to send you somewhere. You might need to do it yourself. I'll put it in chat as well. Join my Discord, guys. If you want to join Discord, we have a group talking in there right now of like 10 people. We can make it 11 if you join. Join Discord. Discord's in my video description, in my stream description, and on my channel if you go on my new videos. I don't post that often. I just do kind of streams on here when I can because I'm super busy boy. But yeah, on all my videos in the description, you'll find the Discord link. You could join Discord from there, and all of my channel videos. I appreciate it. Join Discord. Tariffs are a good bargaining chip. Wow, I could tell you have no brain. Oh no. All right, guys, here you go. Have a good night. You have a good night too. Here's another stream. I believe Pisco is a lawyer. Okay, Pisco is a lawyer, and they're reacting to a internet politics topic. If you want to watch that. But yeah, have a good night. Thank you. Drop a like, follow, subscribe, donate, become a channel member, all that kind of stuff. All right, good night, guys. See you in Discord. It's Pisco. The channel is called Pisco. Here's a link to it. Good night. Pisco's Hour. Pisco's Hour channel. Take care and pray for better nation. Thank you for the call. I believe that's you. Go talk to Pisco, Granite Stone. I think that's you. I think it is. But yeah, go talk to Pisco's Hour sometime if you can. Pisco's Hour. He does call in sometimes. All right, see you guys. Thank you again. Thank you for watching. I was off for a few days. Good night, channel members and subs. Appreciate it. Have a good night.